The dawn of 2025 has witnessed renewed diplomatic energy. China, Pakistan, and Afghanistan are actively discussing new economic agreements. These talks aim to foster greater regional connectivity and shared prosperity. The vision is grand. It speaks of transforming a historically volatile part of the world. However, this ambition unfolds against a backdrop of significant security concerns. As of today, May 23, 2025, these concerns are more pronounced than ever. The path to economic integration is proving to be a challenging journey, demanding resilience and strategic foresight from all parties involved in these crucial discussions. These trilateral agreements hold immense strategic importance for all participants. For China, they represent a potential expansion of its Belt and Road Initiative. This offers deeper access to Central Asian markets and resources. For Pakistan, these deals could solidify its role as a vital geographical conduit. This would bring much-needed economic stimulus. Afghanistan, after decades of conflict, sees a pathway to economic reconstruction and integration into the regional and indeed global economy. The potential benefits are substantial, promising a new era of cooperation. The core idea behind these economic initiatives is transformative. Leaders envision new trade routes flourishing across rugged terrains. They see modern infrastructure like railways and energy pipelines connecting once isolated communities. The effective utilization of natural resources is also a key component. If realized, these projects could fundamentally reshape the economic landscape. They could turn current challenges into opportunities for growth. This would benefit not just the states, but also the people living within these often turbulent border regions, offering hope for a more stable and prosperous future. Yet, this bright vision of economic progress is persistently shadowed by dark realities. The specter of terrorism, particularly from groups like the Tehrik-i-Taliban Pakistan or TTP, casts a long and ominous shadow. These violent non-state actors pose a direct threat to the stability required for such large-scale projects to succeed. Their activities create an environment of fear and uncertainty. This directly undermines the confidence needed for investment and development. The success of these economic dreams is therefore inextricably linked to overcoming these deep-seated security challenges. The specific objectives of these new trilateral economic agreements are ambitious and far-reaching. A primary focus is on significant infrastructure development. This includes the construction of modern highways and efficient railway networks. Plans also feature the development of crucial energy pipelines. These projects are designed to enhance trade routes not only between the three nations but also to provide vital links to the broader Central Asian region. The goal is to create seamless connectivity that can spur economic activity across these diverse and challenging geographical landscapes, paving the way for increased commerce. Each nation involved anticipates substantial benefits from these collaborative ventures. China seeks to expand its geopolitical influence and secure new avenues for its goods and investments. It also looks to access the region's rich natural resources. Pakistan aims to leverage its strategic location to boost its economy, earning transit fees and enhancing its regional standing. For Afghanistan, these agreements offer a lifeline. They promise desperately needed foreign investment, the development of critical infrastructure, and a tangible path towards national stability and economic self-reliance after years of devastating internal conflict and isolation. Beyond the state-level benefits, these economic corridors hold the promise of stimulating local economies significantly. A key anticipated outcome is widespread job creation for local populations. This is particularly crucial in the often underdeveloped and restive border areas. Alongside employment, there is the potential for skill development programs. These would equip the workforce for new opportunities. Ultimately, these initiatives aim for poverty reduction, improving the quality of life for millions of people across China, Pakistan, and Afghanistan, fostering a sense of shared progress and mutual benefit among the communities directly impacted. However, the realization of these grand economic visions is far from guaranteed. The success of these ambitious projects critically depends on establishing and maintaining a stable and secure environment. This is a condition that, unfortunately, is currently under severe and sustained threat from persistent militant activities. The ongoing violence and instability make the path forward exceptionally difficult. It demands not only economic investment but also a robust and coordinated security strategy to protect these ventures and the people working on them, ensuring that potential prosperity is not derailed by conflict. The Tehrik-i-Taliban-Pakistan or TTP is a significant militant group posing a persistent threat. It emerged in the early 2000s, consolidating various militant factions. Its core ideology is extremist, and it has been locked in a violent conflict with the Pakistani state for many years. The TTP's primary stated objective is the overthrow of the Pakistani government. It seeks to replace it with a system based on its harsh interpretation of Sharia law. This ambition has fueled years of bloodshed and instability, particularly in the country's northwestern regions bordering Afghanistan. In recent years, the TTP has experienced a notable resurgence, regaining strength and operational capability. Several factors have contributed to this revival. Perhaps most significantly, the Afghan Taliban's takeover of Afghanistan in August 2021 provided a major morale boost, and allegedly, a more permissive operational environment for the TTP. This shift in the regional landscape appears to have emboldened the group. It has led to an observable increase in the frequency and sophistication of its attacks against Pakistani targets, especially security forces and state infrastructure within Pakistan. The TTP employs a range of brutal tactics to achieve its objectives and sow terror. These include direct assaults on Pakistani security forces and their installations, suicide bombings in civilian areas, and targeted killings of government officials and perceived opponents are also common methods. The group is also known for engaging in extortion rackets to fund its operations. More recently, there has been a disturbing and marked increase in kidnappings. These abductions are often carried out for ransom, to secure prisoner exchanges, or simply to exert psychological pressure on the state and its populace. The TTP's operations are predominantly concentrated in Pakistan's Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and Balochistan provinces. These areas share a long and porous border with Afghanistan, facilitating cross-border movement and activities. Crucially, these are the very regions earmarked for the development of the new trilateral economic corridors. This geographical overlap creates a direct and unavoidable clash. The TTP's presence and actions directly threaten the viability of these vital economic projects. This makes their neutralization a prerequisite for any sustainable development and regional integration efforts to truly succeed in the long term. Kidnapping has emerged as a particularly insidious and effective tactic in the TTP's arsenal. This method goes beyond mere physical violence. It inflicts a deep psychological toll on the victims, their families, and the security forces at large. It also creates a pervasive sense of fear and insecurity among the civilian population. For the TTP, kidnappings serve multiple purposes. They are a significant source of funding through ransom payments. They can also be used as leverage to demand the release of imprisoned militants, or to generally pressure the government and demonstrate its vulnerabilities. A stark example of this tactic was the high-profile kidnapping on August 29, 2024. This incident occurred in Dera Ismail Khan, a district in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province. The victims included Lieutenant Colonel Khalid Khan, a Pakistani army officer, also identified in some reports as Khalid Amir. His two brothers, one of whom was Asif Amir, a police assistant commissioner, and one nephew were also abducted. This brazen act targeted senior government and military-affiliated individuals, sending a clear message about the TTP's reach and its willingness to confront state symbols directly. The circumstances surrounding the August 2024 abduction were particularly poignant and revealing. Lieutenant Colonel Khan and his family members were reportedly kidnapped while he was in a mosque. He was there receiving mourners after his father's funeral, a moment of vulnerability. Subsequently, the TTP released a video. It showed Lieutenant Colonel Khan in the custody of armed militants. In the footage, he was visibly under duress, urging the Pakistani government to accept the TTP's demands. This public display of a captured officer amplified the incident's impact, showcasing the militants' control and propaganda capabilities effectively. The implications of this specific kidnapping were profound and far-reaching. It starkly demonstrated the TTP's audacity and its expanding operational capabilities. The group showed it could target and capture senior security and government officials. This incident also painfully highlighted the significant challenges faced by Pakistani authorities. They struggled to secure their own personnel and maintain control over territory, even in areas known to be TTP hotspots. This event undoubtedly raised serious questions about the security preparedness for any large-scale economic projects planned in such volatile environments, creating unease. Section 5. escalating hostilities, the May 2025 abductions, and widening attacks. The disturbing pattern of TTP violence has not only continued, but has alarmingly escalated into 2025. The security situation in Pakistan's border regions, particularly Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, has shown little sign of improvement. In fact, many indicators suggest a deterioration. This ongoing instability poses new and even more severe threats to any plans for large-scale economic development and regional cooperation. The persistent attacks create an environment antithetical to investment and progress. This reality forces a continuous reassessment of risks by all stakeholders involved in the proposed trilateral economic ventures. A very recent and concerning event was the kidnapping of 2 Pakistani army personnel on May 18, 2025. Second Lieutenant Said Saeed Ahmad and Sepoy Ijaz Hussain were abducted by TTP militants. This incident took place in the Panyal area of Dera Ismail Khan, a district repeatedly targeted by the group. This abduction further underscored the TTP's relentless and focused campaign against the Pakistani military. It also served as a grim reminder of the daily dangers faced by security forces operating in these volatile frontier regions, highlighting the human cost of this conflict. This kidnapping did not occur in isolation. It was part of a broader wave of attacks around the same period. On May 17, 2025, just a day prior, TTP assaults in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province reportedly resulted in the deaths of at least 20 Pakistani soldiers with several others wounded. One particularly deadly incident involved a mine blast that targeted an army truck in the Dela area of Tiaraz district in South Waziristan. This coordinated series of attacks across different locations demonstrated a sophisticated and multifaceted offensive capability on the part of the TTP militants. The overall impact of this recent escalation in violence is deeply troubling for regional ambitions. Such incidents directly and significantly undermine confidence in the Pakistani government's ability to provide adequate security. This is especially true for ambitious economic projects that require long-term stability and safety for personnel and infrastructure. Furthermore, these attacks strain Pakistan's military resources. They divert critical attention and funding away from national development priorities towards urgent counterterrorism operations. This creates a vicious cycle where insecurity hampers development, and lack of development can fuel further grievances and instability. Section 6. The Afghan Nexus, Navigating Cross-Border Complexities and Taliban Influence. The relationship between the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, or TTP, and the Afghan Taliban is intricate and deeply rooted. Although they operate as separate organizational entities, they share significant ideological affinities and a long history of mutual support and cooperation. The TTP, for instance, has publicly pledged allegiance to the supreme leader of the Afghan Taliban. This connection provides the TTP with ideological legitimacy in certain circles. It also fosters a degree of operational coordination and shared strategic outlook, complicating efforts by Pakistan to isolate and defeat the TTP insurgency effectively. Pakistan has consistently voiced strong accusations against the Afghan Taliban leadership in Kabul. Islamabad maintains that the TTP uses Afghan territory as a sanctuary. From these alleged safe havens, the TTP is said to plan, coordinate, and launch deadly cross-border attacks into Pakistan. This issue has become a major point of contention and a significant source of diplomatic friction between the two neighboring countries. Pakistan has repeatedly presented evidence to support its claims. However, these assertions have often been met with denials or insufficient action from the Afghan side, leading to ongoing tensions. The Afghan Taliban, who regained control of Afghanistan in August 2021, consistently deny these Pakistani accusations. Their official stance is that they do not and will not allow Afghan soil to be used by any group to threaten the security of another country. Despite these assurances, a considerable body of evidence, including intelligence reports and independent analyses, often suggests otherwise. This discrepancy between official statements and on-the-ground realities creates a persistent diplomatic impasse. It hinders effective cooperation in tackling the mutual threat posed by extremist groups operating in the border region. Adding another layer to this complex situation, United Nations reports have, on several occasions, appeared to corroborate some of Pakistan's concerns. These international assessments have described the TTP as a significant terrorist group present in Afghanistan. Some reports have even suggested that TTP fighters received training and equipment in camps located near the Pakistan border, allegedly with some level of awareness or even involvement from certain elements within the Afghan Taliban. This international scrutiny further complicates the Afghan Taliban's position. It underscores the serious cross-border nature of the TTP challenge for regional security. Section 7. Pakistan's predicament, crafting a response to entrenched security threats. The Pakistani government is grappling with the TTP threat through a multi-pronged strategy. This approach necessarily includes extensive military operations in the most affected northwestern regions. These operations aim to clear militant strongholds and disrupt their networks. Alongside direct military action, intelligence gathering efforts have been intensified to preempt attacks. Furthermore, there are ongoing initiatives to counter extremist narratives and ideologies that fuel recruitment. However, the pressure on Pakistan's military and security apparatus remains immense, given the TTP's resilience and the challenging terrain in which it operates. In response to specific high-profile incidents, the government has often issued strong condemnations and renewed pledges. For example, following a series of deadly attacks by various militant groups, including TTP allies, around August 2024, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif publicly vowed to eliminate the scourge of terrorism from the country. However, the flow of official information regarding the more recent May 2025 kidnappings of army personnel was notably slow or initially absent. This sometimes creates an information vacuum, which can fuel public anxiety and speculation about the government's handling of the escalating security crisis. Diplomatic engagement with the Afghan Taliban leadership in Kabul forms another crucial pillar of Pakistan's strategy. Pakistani officials have repeatedly traveled to Afghanistan or summoned Afghan diplomats in Islamabad. The primary message has been a consistent and urgent appeal for Kabul to take decisive and verifiable action against TTP safe havens, allegedly operating on Afghan soil. Thus far, these diplomatic overtures and security dialogues have yielded very limited tangible results. This lack of progress has led to growing frustration within Pakistani policy circles and has strained bilateral relations considerably. Pakistan faces the monumental challenge of maintaining internal security while simultaneously pursuing ambitious regional economic projects. The government must make difficult choices about resource allocation. It needs to provide robust protection for critical infrastructure and development sites. Equally important is the need to reassure international partners, especially China, about the safety and security of their substantial investments and the personnel involved in these projects. Balancing these demanding security imperatives with the pressing need for economic development is a delicate and ongoing tightrope walk for the Pakistani state. Section 8. Economic Dreams Under Siege, Investor Confidence and Project Viability at Stake. There exists a direct and undeniable correlation between regional stability and the ultimate success of large-scale economic initiatives. Potential investors, particularly major international players like China, require robust assurances of security. They need to be confident in the safety of their substantial capital investments and their personnel before committing fully to projects in any region. Persistent insecurity therefore acts as a significant deterrent. It can delay or even derail projects that are vital for economic growth and development, especially in areas already perceived as high-risk environments like the Afghanistan-Pakistan borderlands. The recurrent attacks and high-profile kidnappings perpetrated by the TTP directly erode this crucial investor confidence. Each violent incident prominently reported sends a chillingly negative signal. It starkly highlights the elevated risk profile associated with investing in and operating within these volatile regions. This heightened perception of risk can lead to a cascade of negative consequences. These may include significant project delays, demands for higher risk premiums, substantially increased security costs, or, in the worst-case scenarios, the outright cancellation or indefinite suspension of planned economic ventures by wary investors. Consequently, implementing economic projects in areas plagued by militancy necessitates extensive and costly security measures. This often involves the deployment of dedicated security forces, sometimes numbering in the thousands, to protect construction sites, infrastructure, and personnel. Advanced surveillance technology, such as drones and monitoring systems, becomes essential. Furthermore, comprehensive community engagement programs are often required to build local support and gather intelligence. All these vital security components add considerable expense to the overall project budgets, potentially impacting their financial viability and long-term sustainability. The China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, or CPEC, a flagship component of China's Belt and Road Initiative, serves as an important precedent. CPEC has itself faced numerous security challenges since its inception, including attacks on Chinese engineers and infrastructure projects. The lessons learned from securing CPEC are highly relevant for any new trilateral economic agreements involving Afghanistan. China, having experienced these risks firsthand, is now acutely aware of the security imperatives. Beijing will undoubtedly demand even more robust and verifiable security guarantees from both Pakistan and Afghanistan before embarking on further large-scale investments. Section 9. Conclusion: the indispensable quest for stability in forging regional prosperity. The new economic agreements envisioned by China, Pakistan, and Afghanistan hold truly immense potential. They offer a tangible pathway towards sustainable development, enhanced regional connectivity, and significantly improved livelihoods for millions of people. These initiatives could transform a region historically characterized by conflict and poverty into a vibrant hub of economic activity and cooperation. The promise is one of shared prosperity, leveraging unique geographical positions and fostering interdependence. This vision is compelling, offering hope for a more peaceful and prosperous future for all involved nations. However, this bright potential is severely jeopardized by the grim reality of the prevailing security environment. The relentless activities of the Tehrik-i-Taliban Pakistan, especially their campaign of targeted kidnappings and deadly attacks on security forces and civilians, represent a primary and formidable destabilizing factor. This persistent threat cannot be ignored or wished away. It directly undermines the foundations of trust and safety upon which all successful economic endeavors must be built. The shadow of militancy looms large over these ambitious plans, demanding immediate and effective countermeasures. Addressing the TTP threat effectively requires a comprehensive, multifaceted, and sustained strategy. This is not a challenge that Pakistan can overcome in isolation. It necessitates genuine and proactive cooperation from the authorities in Afghanistan to deny sanctuary and support to militant groups. Furthermore, continued engagement and support from China will be crucial, not only as an investor but also as a regional power with a vested interest in stability. A united front, combining security measures with diplomatic pressure and economic incentives, offers the best hope for progress. Ultimately, the success of these transformative economic dreams hinges unequivocally on the establishment of lasting peace and enduring stability across the region. Without a secure and predictable environment, the new economic corridors risk becoming not conduits for prosperity, but rather pathways for further conflict and exploitation. Such an outcome would be a tragic setback for the people of Afghanistan, Pakistan, and the broader region. Therefore, the quest for stability is not merely a prerequisite for economic development, it is an indispensable imperative for the future well-being of all nations involved.